Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. This is what the Bible reminds us in Galatians 6, verse 9. Another translation says, "And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not." Both of these translations impart the same divine wisdom. We should persevere in the face of difficulties, knowing that there will be a reward for our faithfulness. So, I am here to encourage you today to trust God and never give up. Do not quit. With God at our side, we can confront the harshest of circumstances head on. I am also going to pray a powerful prayer with you in the mighty name of Jesus. So watch until the end and open your heart to receive the blessings of this prayer. Have you ever found yourself on the edge of giving up, overwhelmed by the burdens you carry? Or have you ever asked yourself, is this struggle even worth it? If you've said yes to either of these questions, you're not alone. We all face challenges, financial difficulties, emotional heartbreak, health issues, the deep pain of loss, and the list goes on. In those moments, the instinct to quit, to throw in the towel, seems almost unavoidable. But remember, trust God and never give up. God's promise isn't that we will never get tired. It's that we will reap a harvest if we keep pushing forward. Let us explore some important things to keep in mind that will encourage you not to give up. Even when the going gets tough, first important point is to know that the promised land is just beyond the obstacle. What I'm saying here is that often the biggest breakthroughs, the answers to our prayers, and the promised land of blessings we've been waiting for are just on the other side of the obstacles we face. So when we feel like giving up, we may actually be closer to our miracle than we think. Let's look at the story of the Israelites. They wandered in the desert for 40 years, right on the doorstep of the promised land. Can you imagine if they'd given up right before reaching their destination? In the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 3, God tells Joshua, "Every place that the sole of your foot will tread upon, I have given you." As I said to Moses, just like them, you might be closer to your breakthrough than you think. So do not give up, for the dawn is often darkest just before the light breaks through. It's often when we're closest to our goals that we consider giving up these trials and tribulations you're facing. They're not there to stop you. They're there to prepare you, my friends. The promised land isn't just a place of milk and honey. It represents new beginnings and blessings that come after hardships. Yes, the desert journey is long and taxing, but what awaits you is far greater than anything you can imagine. You've come too far to give up now. Perhaps you've been working hard for years and still haven't seen the fruits of your labor, but that doesn't mean you won't. When you feel like quitting, remember the Israelites. They were slaves. They wandered in the wilderness, but they eventually made it to the promised land. Your promised land, your breakthrough, your moment, it's there, just beyond the obstacle you're facing. Let's not forget that it was God who led the Israelites to their promised future. You don't have to bear your burdens alone. Trust God. When the path gets tough, remember, the Israelites had God guiding them through the wilderness. You too have God to guide you through your struggles. So, what do we learn? Your difficulties aren't a sign that you should quit. They're the last leg of your journey, the final push that you need to enter into the new life that's been prepared for you. So, trust God and keep moving. You can't give up now. do not quit. Another crucial point is to acknowledge that the trial is not the end. It's the process. Consider the story of Job. Here's a man who had everything and lost it all. Yet, even in the depths of his suffering, he never cursed God. In Job 1, verse 22, the Bible tells us, "In all this Job did not sin, nor charge God with wrong." Imagine the magnitude of his trials. But guess what? His suffering was not the end of his story. It was a part of his journey. The hardships you face aren't meant to break you. They're meant to shape you. Just like metal is purified through fire, your character is strengthened through trials. Think of a blacksmith. They heat the metal until it's red hot and then hammer it into shape. The process might seem harsh, but it's necessary to create something strong and resilient. This aligns perfectly with the words of the Apostle Paul in Romans 5, verses 3 to 4, which says, "And not only that, but we also glory in tribulations, knowing that tribulation produces perseverance, and perseverance, character, and character, hope." These trials are not meant to defeat you. They're designed to build you up and prepare you for greater things. But let's be honest here. No one wants to go through what Job went through. But his story teaches us an invaluable lesson. That even when we don't understand the reason for our pain, we need to trust that there's a purpose behind it. It's part of the process that makes us who we are. Job experienced blessings beyond measure. He got double for his trouble, a twofold increase in his fortunes, precisely because he remained steadfast and refused to give up, even in the face of unimaginable suffering. He stayed the course, even when everything around him was falling apart. In life, you'll encounter hardships that will make you question everything. You might find yourself wrestling with thoughts like, "Why is this happening to me?" Or, "What did I do to deserve this?" Perhaps you'll even wonder, is there a purpose to this suffering? Or will things ever get better? It's natural to feel this way. But let me tell you, the pity party is over. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Cancel the reservations for self-pity. You don't need them. Instead, lean into the strength that comes from God. Now is not the time to quit. It's the time to dig deeper and persevere. But hold on and trust God through the process.